It doesn't matter if you're a flat earther, globe earther, hollow earther. I got a question for you. I personally just took that picture of the sun inside the clouds.
Do you do those sun hats made of razor?
No.
What about sun cream?
Yes.
Do you do that sort that when you put it on your skin, it reacts with the sunlight and turns to snakes?
No, sir, we don't.
Do they still shoot tourists in Florida?
Mainly, sir, yes.
Look carefully, you can see the clouds going behind the sun. You know that's only possible in flat earth theory, right?
It's living in twilight, George. Living in the shadows, living in the darkness. Like you.
Me?
Oh, yeah. I can barely see you, George.
You see how you're trying to take out mass when I say explain gravity without density. You're saying to take away mass, which means therefore you're saying to explain density out of nothing. This isn't gravity where you explain something out of nothing.
Good afternoon and welcome to Brandy Park, and you join us just as the competitors are running out onto the field on this lovely winter's afternoon with the going firm underfoot and very little sign of rain. And it looks as though we're in for a splendid afternoon sport on this, the 127th Upper Class Twit of the Year show.
You're saying that gravity is so strong with the sun, it can hold the Earth in orbit, 8 planets, 9 if you want to count Pluto, but for some reason isn't strong enough to pull our moon out of orbit?
And there's a big crowd here today to see these prize idiots in action. Vivian Smith-by-Smith. He's in the Grenadier Guards and he can count up to 4. Simon Zinc Trumpet Harris. He's an old Etonian and married to a very attractive table lamp.
I'm sorry, if gravity was real to where the sun could hold Neptune, Uranus, and even Pluto in orbit, don't you think everything in the asteroid belt would be sucked in by its gravitational pull?
Nigel Incubator Jones, his best friend is a tree, and in his spare time he's a stockbroker. Gervais Brook Hamster, he's in the wine trade, and his father uses him as a waste paper basket.
Think about it. Density explains why clouds float. Clouds also explain why gravity is wrong.
And finally, Oliver St. John Mollusk, another old Etonian. His father was a cabinet minister and his mother won the Derby, and he's thought by many to be this year's outstanding twit.
Please, use some common sense. Maybe it should be called less intelligence since common sense isn't that common anymore.
I'm afraid they're facing the wrong way at the moment, but the starter will soon sort this out. And any moment now, we're going to have the big off. This is always a tense moment. And they're off! No, they're not.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that gravity is beyond flawed, whereas density explains why some things float, others sink in the same median.
What would that rate do to the human head?
What?
I mean, would it go through the skull or just embed itself in it?
With enough force.
Have you got any battering spades?
Any what?
Battering spades for battering a person, or curtain wire. You know, something very thin but strong that you can grip with marigolds.
So I just read an article that our inner core has not only stopped, but has started going the other direction.
Feel free to read any of my comics.
40 cents. Outrageous.
Nobody's thinking about the cause and effect of that. When you looked at the Earth from the North Pole, it was sitting there spinning clockwise. Same with our core. But now that it stopped and started going counterclockwise, our rotation's going to stop and start going in the opposite direction.
From that point on, it was simply a matter of having him concede that he was not speaking to me ex officio, but rather ex nihilo, thus putting him in a syllogistic snare and reducing his deductive corollaries to a series of non sequiturs.
Didn't the Bible say to watch for the sun to start rising in the west and setting in the east rather than rising in the east and setting in the west?
All over the United States, except California, is going to fall into the ocean. Surfing is going to be great. Waves are going to be bitching, no doubt about it.